Hello everyone, welcome back to Python tutorial by Code Warriors. In our previous video we have started control flow, and in control flow we have discussed about the if-else statements. So today we are going to talk about the next thing in the control flow, and that is loops. And even in the loops we are going to talk about one specific loop, for loop. Okay, so by the loop you have understood what what I'm going to talk about. I mean, they are anything that is happening, that is keep on happening. That means it's in a loop. If you want to run a loops are in programming used just to run a certain set of lines again and again. Now if you want to run something for the like 100 times, 1000 times, you're not gonna write that same line for like 1000 times. I mean, you're gonna write it one time and you're gonna make it run in a loop. Okay, so let's stop talking and let's see it in our spider how we do it. Okay, so for loops, the syntax of using a for loop is simple for, give it any variable, then write it in range, let's say 10, and print anything, let's say print hello. Okay, now if we run this much line of code, let's see what happens. Now what did happen, it makes our variable num, which is going to run for the 10 times, and whatever is inside this for loop will run for total 10 times up until this range is satisfied. Now this range is set for 10, so it is going to run for the 10. If I increase this range and make it 20, 30s, let's say, then F9, it's going to run 30 times. Now this is the purpose of the loop. Now if in general if we want to print hello world 30 times, what we have to do, we have to write print hello, print hello, print hello for the 30 times. But here in the two lines, we've written print hello for the 30 times. Now this is a very basic concept to understand. It's you who have to apply, to think where you can apply this for loop, what kind of situations, in what kind of conditions you need to do something again and again, and how you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it by using the loops. Okay, so now this is the general loop in which we are using an integer 30 as an integer and running it over on that many number of times. But it's not just integers that we can use in the loops as a to create a range. We can also use other data types, such as we can use um, strings for, let's say, okay, take a num only. Now in like any string like hello world. Okay, suppose this is a string. Now okay, colon print. Now whatever you want to print over here, let's say we want to print num only. Okay, now let's see what happens. F9. Okay, so what it does, it printed num for the number of times they are, let's say like this. We have declared a num variable over here, and then it is going to run at the number of times of which it's going to run the number of times of the length of this what do I say, string hello world. Now the length of this string is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Now this num is going to run for 11 times and print whatever is inside the print. So it's run for 11 times and we print num for the 11 times. Now if we remove this and run again, now you see, now it is printing the value of the num. Now for each time, like for the first time, the value of num become h and it printed h. Then next time the value of num become e, it printed e. For the third time the value of num become l, it printed l. And it goes on until for the last word it printed and loop ends, because that's the range of the loop. Now same way we can apply this loop for lists like for num 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the same way we can print num and printed F9, and you see it printed the values of the num. The now this time num picks each value one by one from the list and it printed it. Now we can do some like something more on this. Like let's declare one variable sum equals to 0 and print the sum of the objects in the list. So sum equals to sum plus num. Now whatever the value of num will come, it will add with the sum and we will print the sum. Okay, we'll put it outside of the loop. Now you see, whatever we put inside the indentation, it will run for with the loop, and whatever is outside the indentation part, it will not run with the loop. This doesn't come under the loop. Now let me show you the example of it. Okay, there is some kind of error for it. Okay, we did not took this sum with it. Here. Now see, now what happened in this one? We have declared sum as 0, so the value of the sum becomes 0, and then for num in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for first time num takes a value of 1. 0 plus 1, it becomes sum 1. Now the value of sum becomes 1. Again it goes into, for the loop, and now this time num becomes 2. Now sum was 1, 1 plus 2, 3. Now value of the sum becomes 3. And it keeps on happening until the num becomes 5 and this loop become complete. It comes out of the loop and it prints up whatever the value of sum will become, which is 15. Okay, so this is how we do operations inside the loop. Now this is a very basic operation inside the loop. Find out more complicated operations, practice more on these operations, and you will see loops are a very important part of the program. Now we have used this, we can create it our tuple. Let's make it a tuple and run it again, F9. And see, with the tuple also it works exactly same and it gives a value 15. Now same way we can work it or use it in like dictionaries, like for again num in, and let's create a dictionary k1 1 comma k2 2 comma k3 3. Okay, so this is our dictionary. Now if we want to print the items in the dictionary, all we have to do print items. Okay, now we are running. Okay, do one thing. For dictionaries, it's better to create a variable outside of the dictionary. Create a variable of dictionary and then work on it. K1 comma K2 comma K3. Okay, now you don't have to write again and again, or you don't have to write in the for loop. You just declare that variable over there. Now all you have to do is write variable, and if you want to print the keys only, then you can do it like for num and dict and print num. Now what it will do, it will print the keys of the num, this dictionary. But if you want to print the items inside the dictionary, both keys and the values, then in that case you have to write dict dot items over here. Now that's why I have declared dictionary upside, so that it becomes easy to write in this way. Okay, so now let's run this. F9. Okay, one small thing. Yep, it's a method. So F9, and you see here K1 has got the value 1, K2 has got the value 2, K3 has value 3, and is printed the complete item list of our dictionary. Now we don't want the item list, we don't want the keys, we just want the values only. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna create one more variable over here for num comma values, as it has got two values, right? One keys and another is values. So we have created two variables over here, num and values, and we printed values only. Okay, now let's run this. F9, and you see it printed just the values only 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is in the loops. Now you can apply more concepts in the loops like printing the odd numbers, printing just the even numbers only. You can mix up loops and if statements together. Like you start a loop and use if inside a loop. Now you create just work with yourself, do it in a homework, print even numbers, print only odd numbers, print prime numbers, all these kinds of things. Work it out with a loop. Loop is very effective in these kinds of concepts. Okay, these are all basic concepts, but these are good for practicing these loops. Okay, so in the next video, we will talk about another loop, that is a while loop. So see you in the next video. Good luck.